Sunrise Extra on this Monday. We are talking about the heat, of course. Venting, how did the weekend go?
You
what
don't
did
look
you do
hot.
to keep
You
cool?
look cold.
Our air conditioning is on in the studio and I got cold. I know. I shouldn't say that too much.
Remember last Monday morning the air conditioning was off?
Yeah.
Or the week before?
They were
think it's
not regulated.
I think it was Monday. It was just kind of coming back together.
Yeah.
It feels good.
It is a weird look on a show that's all about the heat for one of us to be wearing a jacket.
I'm sorry. I have a sleeveless dress. I'm freezing.
You're like my daughter. She had on black fleece, like a big coat in the house because the AC was running.
I know.
I was just grateful to have
Sure
AC.
you're not like recovering from
problem to
yesterday
have.
from being out in the heat? Like maybe you're a little heat stressed.
All day yesterday we were mostly inside. We went
Okay.
grocery shopping and stuff. But Saturday we were out a lot. We did early morning bike rides at the farmer's market. It sounds like you went to the farmer's market too. And then we had already had a babysitter Saturday night scheduled. And my husband talked me into taking the pedal assist bikes. And it was just dripping sweat. I mean, you don't really
What
have
an
to
awful
pedal.
idea, Dave! What were you thinking?
What time do you think you
good
left the
on the way
house?
home.
What time did you leave the house on Saturday to do this?
5:30.
It was
like a blast
112 degrees.
Yeah.
It was 112
Saturday.
degrees.
108. excuse
100,
me.
oh, yeah.
Only
108
108. Oh, easy.
No, I told Nina if we were dating, I would have to break up with her because that is not how I wanted to spend my weekend. Is out and about. We just like stayed home.
Here's how that conversation would have went in our house if I played the role of Dave and Mia was playing the role of you. Hey, Mia, it's about 112 degrees right now. You want to hop on the bikes and take a ride to get something to eat? What are you, stupid,
So
Drew?
you can just like
crazy?
kind of like pedal a little bit and then it goes like 20 miles an hour.
Yeah,
So
but still.
Even uphill, you do have there. I've ridden them.
I mean, it's
You
hardly
still have to work a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're on the bikes or not. People were avoiding just being outside,
Yeah.
period, at that hour,
Yeah.
let alone doing something active.
That's-
Well,
if
we
you're
went
on
and
the
had
bike-
cocktails and I wore a dress, but I did have to go to the restroom and blot with paper towels.
Wipe down.
Wash down. Yes.
That's funny.
Anyway.
Well, look what it did, though. It kind of regulated your body to the point now where
I'm
you
freezing
must wear a
cold.
jacket in the air conditioning.
I know.
Can we talk about this, Chris? Somewhere online yesterday, I read that we were like the third hottest place in the world. I don't
In
know
the
if you saw in the
world?
world. Like, I don't know how true or false that
I
was.
wasn't prepared to answer what the worldly temperatures were, but I
Let's see
can
if we
speak
can
very much
Google.
about Oregon.
It was like the Sahara Desert, the Eastern California Desert, and one other spot. They were the only spots that were warmer than Portland, Oregon on Sunday.
I mean, the Pacific Northwest, the Dallas hit 115 yesterday.
Yeah.
Portland was 112. Salem was 113. Vancouver was 111. Now I'm trying to remember all the numbers that have been running through my head. I don't know what's more remarkable, that or Astoria hit 101 degrees.
See,
I saw that.
incredible
That's
to me.
Astoria.
bananas.
Tillamook was 100.
How far down the coast did you have to get before there was some semblance of relief?
Newport is where our temperature gauges showed temperatures in the 70s. And in fact, it was pretty cool on Saturday. Newport was actually socked in with the fog rolling over Yaquina Bay while Portland was scorching. I've had some questions about that. Like, how does that happen? Like, how is it that the coast is so much cooler? Well, we do have a 3,000 to 4,000 foot mountain range.
Yeah.
We call them hills here in Oregon because the Cascades are bigger, right? But that's a solid wall to that marine influence. So that's usually what keeps the coast nice and cozy and comfortable.
The simulation is broken.
Something's broken.
Something's gone very wrong.
So here's one other thing that I found really interesting is that all time, and I'm not sure if Rod mentioned this last week or not, Portland has only hit 100 degrees in June 7 times.
Wow, in the history of record keeping, only 7 times, and we did it 3 times.
We're about to do it 3 times in a row, and not only that, but we're about to set our all-time record high on 3 consecutive days in June, which is just, I mean, all of this is mind-boggling.
Which he said was set back in the 1880s, which does put it in perspective.
Right.
Because you're like, well, how far back do the records go? The 1880s.
They go back pretty darn far. I just want to get into our viewers' comments because many of you are already chiming in. We haven't even really posed a question today. Hello there. A question for you today, but I said, who is that handsome man on TV?
It's me.
That's me. Veronica E. Gaston says, it was absolutely miserable outside. No cooling centers in my area. The casino, she says, couldn't keep up either. It was really, really hot.
Yeah. How's it? Your air conditioning is having trouble.
Yeah, and we do have
upper floor?
Yes, the upper floor has been just it cannot keep up. We have it set at 71 upstairs and down, and downstairs seems to be right there at 71, doing a good job. Upstairs last night before bed it was like at 78, and at one point Mia was outside like watering plants, and she goes, "Is the air conditioning running upstairs?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can hear the fan. Doesn't feel cold up here, but I can hear it." She goes, "This air conditioning unit just made a very weird sound and stopped." I'm like,
Oh, that's not good.
So I went upstairs and I actually set it for higher than it was showing. So it was showing 77. I set it for 79 so it would just shut down. And I waited about 10 minutes and then put it back down and it kicked back on. And she said, "Oh, it's running again outside." I don't know what that was. I hope that was the fix and there's not a
saved your
bigger problem.
That was we're calling the repairman today to schedule an
good luck
appointment
with
because
that.
summer just started. Well, I mean,
They're busy.
they're busy, but you still want to get your name on a list.
Yeah.
And our
fair enough.
power went out on Saturday.
Oh, did it?
So this is Saturday afternoon now, and my son has been saying, "Hey, can we go outside and play wiffle ball?" He wanted to do this Saturday afternoon. I said, "That's a terrible idea, son." But we agreed to a 15-minute session, and we just do this right in front of the house where they try to hit the house with the ball. Pay the mortgage every month so the kids can hit the house with a wiffle ball. It's a wiffle ball. If you hit it on the roof, it's a home run. Anyways, so we go out there. 15 minutes turned into 30 minutes real quick. But it didn't feel too bad. But I was like, "Hey, bud, let's go inside." It's been out over 30 minutes. We walk inside, and somewhere in that 30-minute stretch, our power went out. So I walk inside, and I'm like, there was like no lights on. I think we had left one light on in the kitchen because it gets pretty dark in there. It's off. And then I just felt like, it just feels warmer in here than it should. And I walk over there, sure as heck, no lights are working.
Nothing.
The air conditioning, that downstairs that was set at 71 and had been staying there, it was already up to 74.
How long was it out?
At that point, it was somewhere between 0 and 30 minutes.
But how long did it last?
4 hours.
Wow.
So it went out around 4 o'clock Saturday afternoon, and it came back around 8:30 Saturday night.
This is the first house I've ever had where the air conditioning works in the upstairs. Had an older house, and boy, the venting just would not. We put in an AC, but the upstairs, not going to happen.
We got a heat pump
and
upstairs.
I was just, again, so grateful to have it. I just thank God.
There were 20,000 people without power on Saturday afternoon in Washington County, 10,000 in Clark County. So that's, there were a lot of people.
significant.
And Drew.
And Drew. That's Clackamas County. Drew.
Renee Robertson was asking, how did my boys do playing ball in the heat? They were fortunate it was canceled. So on Thursday, before noon even, the tournament that they were going to play and decided to cancel for the weekend. So they were pretty pleased about that. My guys did not do well in the heat.
Stanford Walker went out to the casinos. He said the casinos were okay yesterday, but the smoke was terrible. He's
from cigarette smoke?
Exactly. He's like, please make those non-smoking.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
They're not?
I think some of them, yeah. They don't have to be. Lisa Mellinger, she said it was 110 at my place yesterday. She has horses, so she was spraying them down with cool water. It's way too hot. How does Arizona do it? Good question.
They're used to it.
Yeah.
To your
It's
point, though,
dry
Chris,
heat.
I think there's spots in the casino where you can't smoke, but there's also spots within the actual building where you absolutely can smoke.
It's like Vegas, man. Just like everything
No
was
rules.
like smoking. Our tomato plants went.
Yeah, ours did too.
I had to get out the little stakes and kind of tie them up.
Yeah,
'cause we watered twice. Watered the garden once, like in the 6 o'clock hour in the morning, and then I looked at. I'm like, oh, you don't look happy.
Yeah, we have some like banana plants, and some of the leaves. There's one that was touching the gutter and the metal gutter, and it just totally burned the whole thing.
Wow.
So yeah, we've been out watering, but there is some info to pass along to you today. So here is some cooling centers in Southwest Washington, so you can check out those as I tell you that MAX trains and the Portland streetcar not running today. They will be back online sometime tomorrow. The lines just get too hot, and they just don't work correctly. So no MAX trains. They will be doing regular bus routes. Also, all public pools in Portland. Now, this would be prime time for those, obviously. Those are shut down today. They don't have enough staff, enough lifeguards to manage how many people, wanted to be there. They were doing kind of reservation systems at the pools. What else is closed? The Oregon Zoo is closed today. It's too hot out there. A lot of Portland Public School summer school programs and summer camps and activities. Those are
Actually, grab-and-go meals will not be
down.
delivered today, will not be available for pickup today. Grab-and-go meals within the Portland Public School District, so that's a big deal to a lot of families.
You know what, you guys, I was thinking, and I made a graphic on my Instagram about it. Like, we were driving around, and I'm thinking, like, this is nuts. Like, now we have a record heat wave 3 days in a row, and we're breaking our own records. Like, weather in the past year, record heat.
Ice.
Historic ice storm and wind. Record fire season in the state of Oregon.
Yep.
You know, plus pandemic, plus record gun violence.
Did you see my
plus-
comment?
Oh yeah, what did you say? I forgot again.
Earthquake insurance pronto.
Chris, don't say the E word.
It was so funny. We were just
Serious.
talking about that same thing at our house when I saw your Instagram
Yeah.
post. I'm like, yeah, it's been nuts.
Fires, like snow and ice, and then wind knocking out your power's been
Yeah.
out like so many times.
We've only been in this house for a couple of years, and I'm starting to wonder how good is the setup of this house.
Who did the electrical work in that?
Rod always asks me
fine
that.
Westland
Neighborhood.
mansion of yours.
Because when it goes out, if it goes out for long stretches like it did during the winter, I'll come here and shower. You know, it's completely
Yeah.
dark in our house, so I'll come here. We have a shower downstairs, and the joke for Rod Hill now is always, "Do you have power in your house this morning, or did you shower here?" I mean, he asks me that like once a week. I'm like, "No, power's fine," but it
Yeah.
has gone out a lot over the last
Like,
year.
how nuts is that? Like, all of these things are happening
Yeah.
in the same.
And Nina's wearing a jacket in the studio on a 113-degree
Well,
day.
thank you, air conditioner, for working well this morning.
Somebody was weighing in here. I just lost it, but somebody said Spirit Mountain is non-smoking, and then somebody else said,
Which one's Spirit Mountain along the
Yes.
coast range?
Yes.
exactly,
Okay.
and then somebody else said the AC at Spirit Mountain went out.
Oh no!
Which is a
You
bummer.
can have one good thing, but you can't have them all.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of restaurants, food carts closed. Lots of restaurants I saw were just like, we're throwing in the towel, or their power had gone out, or they're not going to be serving people at
You know what I
outdoor
was
seating.
kind of shocked at? I mean, even though the forecast was out there, we're like, is this really going to happen? I mean, this is what we're saying. Is this really going to happen? Why did the Olympic trials wait until midday yesterday to postpone events? Like, I wonder why they didn't. That's
Just
kinda,
start with that.
yeah, I mean, you saw the track temperatures were like 150.
50 degrees.
I know. Oh my
They
God.
started
I
some of
didn't
those
see
races
that.
at what, like 8:30?
Yeah, but I mean, 10
they
o'clock, like, so
eventually
the
pushed them
women's
back.
10K went off at 10 o'clock on Saturday morning. I mean, it was still like, I don't know, getting into the upper 80s at that point. So
I love seeing
tell you
those
what, though.
guys run,
Yeah.
but I don't know how they do it in that
heard.
heat.
Talk about an incentive to get to the finish line quickly.
Exactly.
I got to get out of this heat.
Ruth says no air conditioning here, and I woke up at 6:30 to 86 degrees inside the house.
Yeah, see, that's when it becomes tough. I said if you're fortunate enough to have air conditioning this weekend, really not that big of a deal because you've got that instant relief sitting right there in your home, which is great. But if you don't, what a different story. If you don't have AC, if your power goes out, if your AC breaks this weekend, and that's what I feel like ours is like. You're asking this piece of machinery to work harder than it's ever had to work before for longer stretches than it's ever worked before. So I'm not surprised if people start talking about their air conditioning breaking.
Sarah Blankenship says we were at the Timbers game on Saturday. That was rough.
that was scorching. And that started at what, 8
Oh,
o'clock?
8 o'clock, yeah, they moved it.
At least it was after the sun, you get the sundown, which is
Right.
that's a whole different thing once once you don't have that beating on you, but still. Oh.
It's probably worth mentioning, you talked, Nina, about the closures in the area, the Oregon Zoo being one place. To go through the entire list takes a long time, but if you plan on going anywhere today, it's probably a good, safe,
Check first.
safe idea to check first, whether you call or go to a website. Just make sure the place you're going to is actually open because some are closing. Here's another tip this morning. I know a few of our viewers are sharing these. I thought this was a good one from Tracy Ellen Carson Webb. She says, cooling tip, take a shower. Period. No. Take a shower and put clothes on straight from the washer while they're still wet. She says, I feel much cooler and the clothes are almost dry already. I did that with, we played softball yesterday. We had early games. So 8:30 in the morning in Estacada and then 9:45. We played a softball doubleheader. It was part of this weekend fundraiser. And it was definitely hot at 9:45 in the morning out there. Had a little jersey. They gave me the number. I don't think anyone knew what they were doing when they gave me this, but it was number 8.
Oh, nice.
How fitting.
Yeah.
Carney, 8. So anyways, took that outfit home, and we threw a load of wash in there, and it was hanging up in the, I didn't want to throw in the dryer because I thought this thing is already kind of tight, it might shrink. So I had it hanging up in the laundry room, and then we had to go out again. We went up to my sister-in-law's house, and I thought, I'm wearing that shirt again. It was still kind of wet, and it felt fantastic.
Great, yeah.
Same thing, just like she suggested. I came out of the shower, grabbed that wet shirt, put it on my body, I was like, ooh, it feels good. And it was probably dry within 6 minutes of being
Evaporative
on.
cooling.
Yeah.
Yes, which actually wasn't working so well probably early in the morning, because when you woke up Saturday morning and you went outside, you probably said, this doesn't exactly feel like Oregon heat. It was a little sticky.
Right.
Yeah, it was humid.
Not that dry heat.
Here's an interesting perspective.
Changed
Kim
in the
Tannehill watching us on YouTube. Good morning, everyone watching us on YouTube. I'm watching you guys right here. She says, could you mention today might not be the day to get an oil change? I work in an auto shop and vehicles are burning right now. Think of the poor technician.
Oh, man.
Jeez, exactly.
Yeah, you got to go under like the person that's
I
working.
always wonder how they do that when the cars, like the drive-up
Yeah, you
shops where
literally,
you've been driving on the road and then just come right in. Yep.
Yeah.
There out comes the hot oil.
Denny Axe is giving a shout out to all the people taking it on themselves to bring water and ice to our most vulnerable community members. That is such a good thing to remind people of.
Yeah.
Neighbors helping neighbors. We've seen a lot of that over the last few days.
I didn't realize just how many people have been chiming in this morning. Man, the stream is packed with comments. Just rolling through a few of them right now. I think you've read some of these already. Matt Boudreau. I just
What's
like
up,
saying Matt.
He's one of our regulars.
Matt Boudreau says, love you. Thank you guys for doing this. They're wondering, though, Chris, can you talk about the cool down again? Because we know it's coming today. When can we expect it, and how significant will that cool down be?
It could be pretty, over the span of a few hours, we could drop, 20 degrees.
Okay.
That will be noticeable. I think that happens in Portland sometime between, on the early end, models have it as early as 5 p.m. It's probably more like 7 or 8.
Well, I was looking at your numbers today, and there they are again on the screen. You have got 113 on the board for today, and you figure that high is going to happen sometime around 3:30, 4 o'clock, thereabouts, right?
Yeah.
Safe to say. And then you've got the overnight low tonight into tomorrow morning at 68, and that's going to happen right around 6 a.m.
5, 6 a.m., yeah.
So we're talking about over a 15-hour period, a drop in temperature of 45 degrees. There's no way you don't feel that difference.
Yeah.
Mind blown. Lori Soriano is a girl glass half full. She says, perks of the heat. My toilet seat isn't cold when I sit on it, and the hot water in the sink doesn't have to run as long to get hot.
That's kind of nice.
She's stretching, but I like your attitude.
Is anyone brave enough to take a cold shower in the...
Do you know what?
Yeah, that always feels
I thought
good,
I'd take a cool shower, but once you get in there, it's like, oh.
Yeah.
It does feel good for the 5 minutes after you get out, and you're like, that feels good. All right.
Yeah.
And then the heat kicks back in. And
Yeah, we went to a splash pad Saturday morning after the farmers market trip, and it was super fun. There was kids out. There was people playing tennis at Grant Park, and we went to the little Beverly Cleary, like Ribsy and Ramona and Henry Huggins statue, and oh my gosh, my daughter was having the best time running in the water.
So the splash pads this weekend, typically for kids, did you notice more adults kind of getting into that water or no?
There's some parents being, handheld wading in, but no. Well, we have video of like Salmon Street.
I dipped into the Jameson fountain. We went yesterday morning, and we were there really early, so like there were only a couple other kids and parents there. But the Jameson fountain's one of those that like. It gushes and it has a varying intensity and velocity and depth.
It's a cool one.
And when it gets really deep, it's like, ankle deep. So I got in there and was like, this feels good. I'm going to stay here for a few minutes.
Did you guys see, there was, this fountain, I'm sorry you guys can't see it. This one is that by the Keller?
It looks like it, right?
Look at people are like using that as a swimming pool.
That dude's jumping in how deep is that?
Is that the one that they filled with soap suds?
Underwater, yes.
But I'm talking about the guy jumping in, Brenda. That doesn't look safe. There's a picture of a large fella.
See the cannonball.
He's doing a cannonball in what could be 1 foot of water.
What did she say? Show camera 3. This is from one of the Oregonian photographers. And you can see, that's that fountain, right? Isn't it in front of the Keller?
We're guessing it is.
But people were like doing cannonballs, swimming in the top of it. This is a really popular one. People will put in like laundry detergent.
Is it too late to put that up one more time? One more time, Lisa, can we see that? The last shot, darn it, my goodness.
What?
And when we look at that, I'm just curious because it's changed a couple of times here in recent days. We can't have that shot. There it is. The nail color, different this morning, I think. Am I right about that?
I
No?
did it last Monday. So.
Okay, all right.
But very good. Yeah.
There you go.
That was the striking part of that shot to me. That's the part that stuck out.
Sarah
hardest
says, I'm
decision of my
doing,
week.
right? Sarah says she's doing an experiment with the kids today. We're putting cookie dough on a baking sheet and placing it on the dash of our car to see how long it takes to bake.
Will that
I
work?
saw people cracking eggs on the
Yeah.
sidewalk yesterday.
Well, I don't think you technically will get warm enough to kill the salmonella in the eggs because I don't know if it'll get to 165.
God, I
but
hope people don't eat them.
Don't eat that raw cookie dough, says
it
the guy
as
who
a-
always eats the raw cookie dough.
My sons tried to do the egg deal yesterday, but they
favorite
used the
part.
frying pan. They stuck the frying pan outside for like 3 hours and then thought they'd crack the egg onto the frying pan at that point, and it didn't really.
Nothing.
No,
Was it cast iron or was it like one of those aluminum?
not cast iron. Aluminum.
Yeah, cast iron. You might have a little better luck with cast iron. I'll do that.
We don't
today.
have a cast iron skillet.
Oh, you
Do
don't?
you?
Yeah.
And do
Yeah.
you? And you do too.
A couple of them. Grill pan.
I never
Fry
used
pan?
to. Yeah, I always thought it was more trouble, or it seems like
It's
you just have to
not.
season it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
If
and
you
then it
season
doesn't
and then you
stick.
don't clean it. I mean, you clean it by boiling water in it and then wiping it out.
Right.
You don't put soap in it and don't scratch
And my
it.
mother-in-law has a whole set. And my wife's a fantastic cook, and I thought that's probably something she would put to good use.
Best conductor of heat.
It's even. You get
Nerd
even
alert. Yes, exactly.
Jeff
All right,
Lucas
back to your
says, think of
comments.
it in Celsius. It will only be 45 degrees.
I did that last night. Put the live Timberline camera up and I said, hey, look, it's 28 degrees.
We went grocery shopping yesterday. Fred Meyer was sold out of bags of ice. They had signs saying limit of 2 per customer for cases of bottled water or like big kind of the purified drinking water jugs. And for the bags of ice gone.
Yeah.
And the water aisle, it was busy.
I bet.
Yeah, when our power went out on Saturday, Mia was in a panic and said, you got to go to the store and get bags of ice. So I tried 2 spots, both sold out, and I said, I'm done looking. Came back
Guys,
empty-handed.
one more day.
Yeah.
Just one more day.
Can I ask one more favor real quick before we leave? Ruth mentioned doing the experiment where she's going to try to do the cookie dough on the dash of her car today. And then someone named Ruth said, I don't know if you were being a wise guy or if you were being serious. Ruth said, hey, Sarah, let's hope the news media follows up to see how it goes. I'm serious, Sarah. Would you do us a favor and either take pictures or actually a video of your attempt to cook cookie dough on the dash of your car today, and we will use that tomorrow, if not on Sunrise, the TV show, sometime during Sunrise Extra.
Yeah.
Please, Sarah Blankenship, and you can email that to any one of us, or just, what do you think the easiest one is? Newstips@kgw.com? Something like that. There you go. I'm done.
There we go.
I just got
there is the
immediate- we have to wrap now.
solicitation. All right, you guys, stay safe. 113 degrees. Expect relief overnight coming tonight. But yeah, stay safe. We will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching.